Gonna be a hot situation. Welcome back again, Jam Fam. We are doing a gigantic meal prep in one afternoon for my family of 10. I'm making several of my big batch recipes, plus we're gonna make homemade dinner rolls from scratch. We're doing skillet dinners. We'll probably use the oven some too. I'm using much of what I already have on hand. I did have to order a few ingredients from Walmart. I've switched out a couple things. Several of these recipes will be traditional with from scratch ingredients, and I'm also going to adapt a few to make them gluten-free. By the end of this, we're gonna have a lineup of several big batch dinners ready to go to make the next few days easier. Jam Fam, before we get cooking, I have to tell you something extremely exciting. This is like all the exclamation points, okay? My big batch freezer meals and meal prep vault is open now. It's so exciting to me to pull this all together for you. It has everything you need to say goodbye to the 5 p.m. panic, the last minute drive-through runs, and the daily what's for dinner stress for good. There's over 100 cooking resources inside the vault, meal plans, big batch freezer meal collections, big batch cooking systems, so many printables, full courses, and so much more all in one place. Click the first link in the description below to join me in the vault and use my special coupon code JAMFAM to save an extra $50 off for a limited time. Now let's get cooking. So the very first big batch dinner that we're gonna do is from my Skillet Dinners Made Easy Guide 3. And we are going to first start with Philly cheesesteak macaroni. Now I am going to switch out, instead of traditional elbow macaroni, I have 3 boxes of gluten-free noodles that I already had in the pantry. And so we are going to make this a gluten-free dinner, and we're going to do this first. And just to get things going, I'm going to get the water going for our noodles. We will use a little precious pot for that. Wrong one, almost. It's a burner I don't normally use. Okay, and we're gonna chop our onion, red pepper, green pepper. This is, if I didn't tell you, the Philly cheesesteak macaroni, but we are doing it gluten-free because I had 3 8-ounce boxes of this gluten-free noodles in the pantry. Any kind of cooking that I do, I like to take some time and hunt and gather to see what I already have on hand, and I adjust from there. So right now I'm just taking a few minutes to quickly chop through the 1 green pepper and the 1 red pepper. I'm going to saute those with a red onion as well. And then we also have 3 pounds of ground beef we need to cook up. Meanwhile, the water is going for our noodles. Sometimes I get gluten-free noodles pretty okay, and sometimes I do not. So we will see what we end up with today. This is a delicious dinner. Yeah, it's going to be eaten so quickly. But along with making a few big batch dinners, it will give us options over the next few days where we will be feeding 9 to 10. Plus, some of these can have leftovers for lunches. You know how it works around here. Let's get cooking. Alrighty, so these onions and peppers look done. I'm going to actually just pull those out real quick, just for a moment, and then we will get the ground beef going in here. And again, it's 3 pounds of ground beef. I am using my $3.99 a pound ground beef that we have got from Sharp Shopper. I have not been in there in a few weeks, just burnt my palm with a pepper. I don't know what that means. Have not been in there for a few weeks. Maybe later next week I will go. I am hoping, with my little life and stuff and things, single mom event calendar and all of those dynamics, to go to the John Henry General Store on Saturday and stock up on produce. For the different things we are cooking this evening, I've got 6 pounds of ground beef defrosted total and 2 pounds of sausage. We are going to do an Italian sausage. Woo! Hold on, my pan's gonna talk to me. I do have it on low, but it is cast iron, so it gets hot, hot, hot. Hold on, it'll come back. Okay. We are going to also, maybe we'll do this next. It's an Italian sausage lasagna skillet. Okay, okay. However, using what I have on hand, I switched out mild sausage for Italian sausage. It'll still be delicious. Sorry, I'm paying attention to everything around here. So I have a 2-pound mild sausage roll from Sharp Shopper, defrosted for the lasagna skillet. This is going to be winner, winner, tater tot pizza casserole for dinner. We have some pizza toppings left. I picked recipes that we could use up different ingredients, as I mentioned, that I have on hand. Hold on, I own a meat masher, and we're gonna find it. There's one of them. I got 2 meat mashers in my drawer. Who are we? So with the tater tot pizza casserole, that's gonna use more of, I had some pepperonis left over from our 25, 27, 250 homemade pizzas that we made a few days ago, which have been amazingly popular. We are also going to use some of that mozzarella that was left over in this Philly cheesesteak skillet. So all I really needed to order to do these various dinners that we're doing this afternoon, I needed to order a bag of tater tots. I didn't have any of those in my freezer because, of course, when I get them, we use them quickly because tater tots, right? I only needed a small bag of tater tots for that, but I got the big bag because I thought, hey, look, we could do some extra tater tots on a sheet pan. That will be gone so quick. It'll be like they're not even here. So I ordered tater tots. I ordered the red pepper and the green pepper. And I ordered a pack of provolone. We used the last of the 12-pound provolone log from Sharp Shopper when I did all the homemade pizzas. Plus, I ordered some mozzarella to cover us through the end, and that's the mozzarella that we'll be using through some of these recipes today too. And then if we have time, I also want to prep 2 low-carb pizza casserole. Now, those use a lot of eggs, but eggs are cheap right now. I'm still getting a box of 60-count eggs from Walmart for $8.20 in 2026, where I know late 24, early 25, that was up to $32 a box. So while we can, using lots of eggs, I am not in a season of life to have another flock of chickens, although I cannot wait to get back to that season in life. I have raised chickens for so many years, and I miss having them, and they are super great, but not able to right now, and Walmart is keeping my large family in eggs in the meantime. Okay, this ground beef is almost done. And so the low-carb pizza casserole, it's also going to use some leftover pizzaronis. Nope, pepperonis. That's a new word for today. And that is also gluten-free. So that's some of the variety I do for my household. Now, a lot of these are not dairy-free. And you could switch out by using the dairy-free cheese substitutes that are out there if you needed to make things dairy-free and gluten-free as well. All right, and our water is boiling for the gluten-free noodles. I need to drain my meat. And then this is a super easy recipe because it's adding things in like cream cheese and seasonings and deliciousness. And we also are going to put 2 cups of this pasta water into this big skillet. My meat is popping. It needs to just settle down there a minute. And I'm going to turn my gluten-free noodles down per the box. I'm going to maybe do some sketchy things with my ground beef. I just set up my bowl here in my drainer. And I'm just gonna scoop my ground beef into the drainer. For the moment, I have things in my sink and things all around, and this makes sense to me for a moment. I did just turn off the gluten-free noodles, and I'm letting them sit there a few minutes before we drain those. I do hear grease a-draining. That's pretty good. There's minimal in the pan. I'm going to be okay with that. Now we're going to start dumping all kinds of things. Okay, so I'm just putting the peppers back in here. And I'm going to add in our, put everything super low, our 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Someone asked me in a video comment today, or they said that since I have propane for my stove, I should get a tankless water heater and all those wonderful things. And I don't have like whole house natural gas. That would be lovely. It's not part of my local address infrastructure, but I did for this stove several years ago have just a single propane tank set. They fill it about once a year or so, and it's only this stove that's connected. So that's why I can't do all those wonderful additional things. So we are gonna add in, well, we got our cream cheese. I'm just gonna chunk it up here for a minute. Then we have some steak seasoning. We're also gonna put in some Worcestershire, you say it for me, sauce. Worcester? Okay. And we're gonna put in 2 cups of our pasta water. And everything will be coming together here in a minute with this. And noodle check. Good. Moving some things around here. Just gonna drain my noodles real quick. Okay, set that back on the stove. A lot of my folks who live here love this seasoning. Let's see if I can get it open with my towel. So it is 2 tablespoons of this seasoning, and then it's going to be 1/4 of a cup of the sauce. I cannot say. And I will smell this because, a little extra. Got an extra teaspoon in there. Yeah, it smells delicious. Okay, now we're gonna add in 4 cups of mozzarella and the gluten-free noodles. Then we are going to top this with provolone and put it on to broil there for just a few minutes, and it'll smell so good, smells so good already, and will be absolutely delicious. Don't have my little grabbers here at the moment. Let me go ahead and get the cheese in there before we start stirring all the way. One, 2, 3. I'm going to actually turn this heat off now. 4. Stay. Okay. Okay, I will get my mitts for this. I had them over there. And now we're just gonna put this in the oven to melt the cheese. Just a few minutes. Yay. So this looks delicious, and as always, I'm hungry. So I'm gonna go first with the samples. Cheese is going to be my treat tonight. And then I will let everyone else know that it's available, and we'll watch it disappear. But here's how it turned out. Smoking hot, and I am ready to eat it. So I will force myself to let it cool for a minute. And actually, to give me something to do for a minute, I'm gonna go ahead and get this in bowls. Since it was so beautiful outside, I had just sent 2 elementary guys outside. I said, sun's still shining, you can get out for another 45 minutes to an hour, but I will let them, they'll eat this outside. Ooh, burned myself on some meat. Outside on one of the picnic tables probably. And that's just gonna be our loosey-goosey, but homemade, from scratch, gluten-free dinner tonight. I want to get the beautiful crusted cheese on top. So here's how the elementary kids' bowls, they can obviously have more than this. We also have blueberries and clementines and bananas. So many people ask me how I serve the fruit. It's options. Depending on what we have and what meal it is, I will do something like grab a banana to go along with it. That's because of all the time on my feet and all the movement that I get. I need to also have healthy, whole food carbs around my heavy movement. At this season, this stage of life, per Dr. Stacy Sims, that's what I'm testing out on my body at this time. Okay. So let's see, I have one teen not here right now. They're at a sports thing. So 4, 5, math, one's gone. I have 6 bowls in front of me. I need 3 more. And look at this, I have 3 bowls. Magic. Oh, that's still on? No, that's off. That's just a fan still going. Okay. So you will see, this is a dinner with no leftovers. But it is a big batch dinner. And if you're a family of 4 to 6, you can follow this same recipe and have lunch tomorrow too. And that's why, since I have this afternoon on my calendar, I mean, I guess it's evening now, but the sun's still shining, so we can call it afternoon. I was thinking earlier today, I'm gonna make a couple big batch dinners tonight, because the biggest freezer meal in our pizza right now, that's what was coming out of my mouth. The biggest freezer meals in my freezer right now is the homemade pizza. So we need some easy weekend dinners already done for us, and we will have big batch freezer meal days coming up. So there you go. So there's some servings left of this, but they will be gone tonight because this is that good. And since this is 9 bowls, before we go back for more, I need to get my other teen who's not here right now, get his serving out and save it for him. Of course, I told him when he gets home, he's going to have lots of things to choose from, which will be great. When he gets home from events and things, he might make chocolate chip pancakes at like 8:30 p.m., you know, life of teens. So anyway, I'm going to get him a serving out too. I just handed one out. Now I'm just we are going to untangle our forks. See, aren't our little new precious bowls from Costco already living their best life? My forks just want to be a tangle. Nice. So I will deliver those all around. So I'm just taking what is left here and putting it in this bowl. And they will eat from this. I need to wash this pan for our next adventure. I want to do homemade dinner rolls, and the recipe makes about 20 to 24 rolls, and it also can be made in the 6-quart KitchenAid mixer. So we will do that coming up, and I want to use the other cast iron pan. Need to use one of the 2 cast iron pans to put the rolls in the oven. So that is coming up. I think we'll do, I have to ask myself, what do I feel like cooking next? So we have the lasagna, and then we also have the pizza tater tot casserole. I'm thinking lasagna-ish. We will go for that. And the sausage I have, hold on here, cold water defrost method. It's 2 pounds, one of these from Sharp Shopper. So I will put some plastic wrap on that and wash this pan real quick. So had someone come back to refill their precious little Costco bowl already. Stay out of that. And I don't know. I just don't know. We got trouble. Stay there, parchment paper. Have trouble keeping our boxes together. Okay, you are gonna get some attention here, and I will pull my wrap up. That's probably just fine. Try again. There we go. So, hey, look, we meal prepped. So our next big batch dinner we are making here from Skillet Dinners Made Easy Guide 1. And we are going to do the Italian sausage, but again, we are switching out the sausage lasagna skillet. And this is on page 18. You can see that this guide has 10 recipes, and there's a shopping list for all 10. Also, if you wanted to break it up and do 5 nights of skillet dinners one week, and then 5 nights of skillet dinners the next. And instead of marinara sauce, we are going to use our Prego traditional family size. I got this 3-pack from Sharp Shopper the other week. Maybe it was $4.99. I think that's right. But anyway, we're going to use this in our lasagna skillet. Okay, so here's everything for the lasagna skillet except for the mozzarella cheese. We will pull that as well. We've got our 2 pounds of sausage. We're going to use some garlic powder, Italian seasoning. I'm going to chop another onion. This is our little precious thing of ricotta. I'm going to use some grated Parmesan cheese. Going to use some marinara, aka Prego. And then I have a box of Great Value noodles. A dupe for the traditional noodles is you could use something if you were looking to keep this low carb, keto-ish, also gluten-free. These palmini noodles, they're already in lasagna sheets, would be a great switch out for this. But I got some Great Value lasagna that needs some attention too, and so we're gonna get this cooking now. Alrighty, so I'm gonna get an onion in there. And since I'm working on speeding things up, I'm gonna go ahead, get the sausage in there at the same time. I think skillet lasagna made with pork sausage sounds delicious. I know I have used sausage in place of ground beef in soups and in chili and spaghetti, and that's always great. And I'm just gonna try some things here real quick. Need that again. We'll need this again. We'll probably need you again, but we will put you up for now. These I will not let get too far away. I think what we're gonna do is after the skillet lasagna, we'll go ahead and get the homemade rolls done, so those can then sit on the counter while we do our next big batch skillet recipe, and then we can get those in the oven once they rise. They don't take that long. So That's good. I wanted to get another walk in, but we'll see. I'm at almost 17,000 steps. I would like to hit 20,000. I hit 22,000 yesterday. So I guess maybe that averages out, right? If I only get to 18,000 today. I just have many things on my personal to-do list. I also want to get a hot bath tonight. We shall see. We've been listening through The Long Winter on the Little House of the Prairie series, and I've been reading to my elementary guys Roald Dahl's The Twits. So we'll see. Some nights I cannot get my mouth open to do read alouds, but it's still a big improvement on my mama heart list because I love to read aloud to my children. And in 2026, I have been reading aloud to them more. We've heavily relied on audiobooks since my life imploded in late 2023. Audiobooks have helped get us through, and that's good because that's something that even with everything going on, we can enjoy together. So the last 2 nights, I have just been too tired, and we have laid down. We have several couches in our living room, and we just listened to 2 to 3 chapters of that book. But then several nights before, I read some storybooks and also some of The Twits to them, which is just a fun, silly book. And then we also listen to the audiobook. So it kind of depends on how tired I am and if I have 30 minutes or an hour to give to bedtime stories. Sometimes it is just easier to lay there and listen to, and that's why this is my ode to audiobooks. And then personally, I'm still listening to the memoir called Wild that, what's her name? Cheryl Strayed, when she hiked the PCT. Definitely a adult woman listen through, not a family read aloud, but still I can appreciate her story and her struggles and her wins and her hiking boots not fitting. All of those adventures. This meat is almost done. I think I almost sung that. So once this meat is done, we will pour the sauce in, and then it's microwave doing something, not me. No one's in here, but they'll be back. Okay. Different noises. I know at different times you hear water in the background, doors shutting and things, because it's a big kitchen, and we got lots of people who live here and look like me who are moving around doing things. I think that might have been someone heating up their second helping of, I almost said chicken broccoli Alfredo. That is not on tonight's recipe list. Philly cheesesteak macaroni. Gluten-free, yes. So we are going to cook through the meat, get the sauce in here. Also, I'll have to look back on my recipe. I've got it on my phone too. That's the nice thing with the guides is I have it on my computer. I have it on my phone. I also have a binder where many of them are printed hard copy. It's just kind of like whatever's most convenient. So pretty sure I add some water, and then I break up my lasagna pieces and just let everything simmer for about 10 minutes, keeping an eyeball on it. I need to also add my seasonings in. I believe I add half the seasonings to that saucy cooking the noodle part. And then the other half of the seasonings we'll add with the ricotta and the mozzarella. Yes, mozzarella. My brain said provolone, and the shredded cheese. So this is another wonderful big batch one dish dinner. Okay, that's probably pretty good. So I added I believe it's a 45.8-ish ounce of our Prego, and technically it was 2 24-ounce jars of macaroni. Nope, not macaroni. We can say it marinara. And then you fill each of the jars with water and dump that in. I figure, you know, this is Jamerrill math and eyeballing school. I figure 45.8 ounces is awfully close to 48 ounces. So I poured in that 1 container of sauce, and then we filled that jar with water, and I did do a few extra ounces at the end to get the last little speck of sauce out and to get us close to the 48. I think it's all going to work out just fine. So it's just one of these 16-ounce boxes of noodles. Breaking those up. And I need to stir in half the seasoning here at this point. I'm just going to get these noodles covered, and then we'll do that. Okay, gonna keep reheating my tea in hope of finishing it. Alrighty, so we are gonna put our little precious thing of ricotta. I've got a little bowl. We're gonna do 15 ounces of ricotta and then 1/4 cup of our Parmesan. You can also use fancy schmancy Parmesan. We are also going to put in the rest of our garlic powder and our Italian seasoning. And let me look at my notes here. I'm pretty sure we mixed 2 cups of cheese with this too. Meanwhile, mix remaining garlic and Italian seasoning with the ricotta and Parmesan cheese. When noodles are done, reduce heat to low. We're already on low with this stove. Stir in 2 cups of shredded mozzarella. And then we're going to drop scoops of our ricotta mixture and sprinkle with the remaining mozzarella. And then you can be super fancy and also top with some parsley if you'd like. Got to give it a quick stir. Got to stay on top of things. It would be nice to cover this pan. I was eyeballing my, 60-quart pot there. I could probably use that lid. But I think we're okay. I think we're doing it. Okay, tidy up for a minute. I didn't get too far. I put the seasoning in here, but I did not put the Parmesan. So we shall do that. There we go. Almost. And if I would have totally missed that, I just would have then shook some Parmesan into the dish when I stirred it. It would be okay. But this is really nice. Going to be a hot situation. Okay, I just wanted to make sure our noodles were done, and that's good. So you can buy better mozzarella cheese, right? And if I had an extra 12-pound log of Sharp Shopper, that's my tea beeping. I hadn't made it back over there to get it. I just need multiple logs of 12 pounds of Sharp Shopper provolone ready to be shredded in my refrigerator, right? But we are using up what's left of that bag from the pizzas. So I'm going to turn this off. I think that's good. Okay, so we are just gonna drop this around, dollop it around. Get on over there. Pretty good. I want to spread it out a little bit. Okay. Last two, probably extra large handfuls of cheese to melt, and this will just sit and melt. So, thinking. I wanted to do the rolls just for fun. I'm doing bonus cheese time in the other cast iron. I'm getting tired evening brain now. I have other things the rolls could go into. So we'll move this aside, and I'll actually recover with our giant lid. Stay there, spatula. We'll take care of you in a minute. We'll just let this melt. Nice. I did not know my 60-quart pot lid fit these 17-inch Lodge cast irons, but I love it. This is my best discovery of 2026. Well, hi, look at that. 2 seconds later, new earrings, new dress, different day, afternoon yogurt. Got 2 egg boxes we need to use up. You won't be surprised at this, okay? We got done yesterday afternoon what we could get done. I also had planned to get 2 or 3 more big batch recipes done. Mom life and stuff and things, I was done for the evening. And that's okay, because now, this afternoon, I've got about 1 hour and 6 minutes looking at my microwave clock. I want to finish this big batch meal prep before we go into several busy days. So let's just jump back in and see what we get done. So we gotta love yesterday Jamerrill, so precious. I really wanted to get 2 dozen of these classic dinner rolls done, but they're ripping through what we prepped yesterday, and I wanna get a few more things done for the coming days. So I'm using my big batch dinners, 12 large family recipes to double, freeze, or stretch. So we are gonna go for a nice, easy win. We are gonna do this low-carb pepperoni pizza casserole. Now, what's nice about this is using so many ingredients that we have here to use up. Marinara sauce, we're gonna call it pizza sauce because it's a pizza casserole anyway. We've got Italian seasoning. Now, this recipe calls for 2 packs of mini pepperonis. I have regular old pepperonis, so we're gonna use those up. We're gonna use 4 more cups of mozzarella cheese. We're gonna use 16 eggs, which I have, those 2 boxes I was carrying, there's probably a dozen eggs between both. I don't know. Anyway, we had both boxes up here, both with only a couple eggs, and it was time for Mama to look into the depths of the refrigerator. So I had one of my folks bring up another box of 60 eggs. So together we will have 16 eggs, and we will do 2 9x13 low-carb casseroles. These are also gluten-free, definitely not dairy-free, but checks the low-carb, keto-friendly, and gluten-free variation needs. So we're just gonna get going right now for a quick, easy win and get both of these in the oven. Okay, I'm just gonna run around and get some things set up here. So we are releasing the homemade rolls category. Yesterday, again, really thought that was a thing, but I think we are going to get 3 more big batch dinners done in this hour, which will be good. So, crack, crack. I'm gonna go ahead and crack eggs because that's another easy win. So I've got 8 in this box, and oh, I have probably all we need in here. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, well, good. Fine, we'll get one of the boxes cleared out. And we'll get to use our precious KitchenAid mixer. I had to think for a minute. Did I burn that up yet? No, it was the immersion blender that I asked too much of. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, brand new. Oh, I don't think I can talk and crack eggs. I best focus. Hold on. We got time to talk. I wanted to tell you about something brand new I just did. 7. We're going to crack eggs first, then we'll chat. 8. Good. 9, 10. Nice. This is 11 and 12. $16,000 steps so far today. 13, 14. 15, 16. Okay. Very good. Now, there are some eggshells in this one, so excuse me while I clear those out. And we will get these back in the refrigerator. I'm just going to take this carton out. It's not that many, and that can sit there. It's a little mom life organizing. And I will have teen guys handle these. Be right back. Alrighty, so got our eggs there. I'm going to combine our pizza sauce, mozzarella, and pepperonis and Italian seasoning in another bowl here for a moment. So my new exciting thing I wanted to tell you that I couldn't do while I was cracking eggs is surprise. You will be so proud of me and us. We're doing this. Brand new today, I have opened up and launched my big batch freezer meals and meal prep vault. And I'm putting 4 cups, aka 4 handfuls of our great value mozzarella in here. Next time I go to Sharp Shopper, I think I will get 2 of those provolone logs because this is nice to have on hand. And then that provolone doesn't have extra fun additives like potato starch to prevent caking, you know. Okay, did that, and my pepperoni math, 2 5-ounce of the minis. I'm gonna just do a handful here. I'm analyzing for a minute. Okay. Just gonna spread these around. So my big batch freezer meals and meal prep vault is over on largefamilytable.com/vault. And it's a collection of over 100 freezer meals and big batch cooking and meal prep resources. Let me get my wooden spoon. And that includes over 20 of my big batch freezer meal guides that guide you through making 30 to 40 freezer meals, or there's also a smallish batch edition in many of those that will guide you through making 12 to 15 meals. And the neat thing with those, you do not have to have a full-size freezer or many full-size freezers to do freezer cooking for your family. You can adjust and accommodate to your family size and the freezer space you have. When I first started freezer cooking, all I had, and let's see, well, I can't tell you the family size because it's been so many years and so many kids and so much family growing and such. But when I first really intentionally starting to keep things prepped ahead in my freezers, it was as a family of 5. I had to go back in time in my mind, and I had 2 half freezers. I had the freezer on my extra refrigerator that was back in the back bathroom and laundry room at the farmhouse, and I had the top freezer, which later, when miracle of miracles, I finally got a new refrigerator, and it was one of those fancy sliding freezers that were on the floor, and a French door refrigerator. What in the world? 1915 farmhouse, but one day Mama got a new refrigerator. So those were my only 2 freezer spaces, and in those I froze 6 to 8 gallons of milk. I froze extra peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which may not sound like much, but when you have 2 to 3 dozen PB&Js ready to go in the freezer and a whole gaggle of kids, they're really helpful. And I also got into freezing breakfast sandwiches and cooking ahead my meat for the month and also freezing that. I would have one afternoon a month where I would cook all the meat I would need for my meal plan for the month. So just encouraging you, you know that I am seasoned. I started with my granddad's old freezer after he passed. That was my first full freezer, and it was a medium-sized one. And then maybe 6 months later, my neighbor across the road had a small freezer, but it was upright, and it was $45. So all of a sudden, I then went, look at that freezer math. I went from 2 refrigerator freezers to a medium freezer and a small freezer. And that's when I got into doing more 9x13 casseroles and slow cooker freezer meals and keeping my bread machines running and freezing bread loaves ahead and all of that fun, necessary meal prep. So to tell you everything that's waiting for you inside the big batch freezer meals and meal planning vault that I have put together with my many, many years of work. You've got big batch freezer meal collections, you've got slow cooker dinners, sheet pan meals, skillet dinners, electric pressure cooker recipes, big batch baking, frugal friendly baking, there's lots of holiday cooking, full meal plans, and lots of specialty cooking covering everything from charcuterie to pasta to even Blackstone meals. There's lots of printables, meal planning resources, freezer cooking challenges, and kitchen systems that are going to save you from the 5 p.m. panic, those last-minute drive-through runs, and those Sunday good intentions that fall apart by Tuesday, and the exhausting daily question of what's for dinner. The Big Batch Freezer Meals and Meal Plan Vault gives you the plan, the recipes, the systems, and the confidence to cook ahead, stock your freezer, and walk into your kitchen every single day, knowing your family is covered no matter what life throws at you. Plus, there are 2 full bonus courses, my Filling Your Freezer course filmed while I was very pregnant with baby number 9, plus my Cozy Christmas course. There are over 100 resources packed all inside the Big Batch Freezer Meals and Meal Prep Vault. The link is the first link in the description below, and for a limited time, use special coupon code JAMFAM to save an extra $50 for a limited time. Go grab it, and I will see you inside the vault. And big batch dinners for busy nights is one of the many big batch resources inside the vault. And then we have skillet dinners made easy, guide 2. And next up, we're gonna do the skillet tater tot pizza casserole. I'm not gonna do the black olives on it. There's a few accommodations that I'm making, like I don't have onion and pepper either. But we have the basics to do the skillet tater tot pizza casserole. And also Mom Life afternoon tea priorities. So that pizza tater tot skillet, it's just as customizable as any pizza that you would do. We are going for the easy ingredients we already have on hand. I'm gonna have this walk down with me. And I wonder if I put my old microwave on, which doesn't work, instead of my timer. Weird, that's what I did. Okay, the actual microwave, there's problems. Anyway, that had 8 minutes left. The timer still works though. You can put something in there and like every 4th time it'll work. And so that's why we got the backup microwave for now. That's my easy life problem fix. But we will peek at these pizza casseroles. They are smelling amazing and looking mighty fine. Okay, this should have drained pretty well. Just take my little draining bowl over here. We are going to stir in the pizza sauce now and about half the cheese. And I'm going to call what's left in this bag half the cheese, and then we will, on the top over the tater tots, use a cheese blend. I will not hold that with plastic. So stir this up, top with cheese. I'm actually going to turn that heat off. Top with tater tots. Get it in the oven for about 30 minutes. Then we will pull it from the oven, top with the rest of the cheese and pepperonis. And that's also where, if you wanted to do other pizza toppings, such as black olives that are mentioned in the recipe, you could. This is where in past big batch freezer meal videos we have joked, are you a willy-nilly tater tot putter-oner? Do you line them up just right? Do you do patterns? I am more of a willy-nilly tater tot lady, so I know this will hurt some of you that would like to do patterns, but I do get it done, and done is pretty okay. You could do like a total geometric, beautiful sunshine pattern thing is what I'm seeing. And I will throw the rest of these tater tots on a sheet pan. 2. My folks have not had tater tots in a really long time. You know, we have like 1 bag of 5-pound French fries a month. That's our timer for these. Oh, and they look beautiful. Look at that. Okay. Beautiful, number one. Beautiful. Look at that. It smells as good as it looks. Number two. And, ouch, sorry. That's hot. Let's see if I can cram a few more tater tots on here. It's probably pretty good. So that's hot too. Get this in. Whoop. Like it. Thank you. And just going to dump the rest of this bag on there. And that will be excitement. Everybody will get like 4. Not really. There's probably enough for everyone to have 7. And you know we have fruit. And I'm just gonna put these on the bottom shelf here. Nice. So already servings going out. This is going to be my sampling of the delicious pizza casserole. Also, I have a friend who is a full-time caregiver of another family member. So we will drop off 2 portions for them. Sorry, my hand's itchy. Don't know what that means, right? Anyway, pizza casserole, delicious. Meal prep containers ready to share a few portion with friends. Also, 1 full 9x13 and a couple squares left of the other one. So I was just thinking about this while I was chewing and eating this pepperoni. In my last big batch homemade pizza video where we did 25, 27, 57, we did a whole mega lots of homemade pizzas. Several of you asked to see what the pizzas look like once they were wrapped at the end. And I forgot to share that with you, so I wanted to put up pictures here. I'll be the Vanna. Put up pictures here to show you how the pizzas looked once they were wrapped and went in the freezer. Also, many of you told me to check Dollar Tree for cheap pizza pans. So I plan to do that while I'm out shopping tomorrow. And the pizzas have been working out fabulous. Probably way too hot, but we'll try to do it quickly. I want to go ahead and top the tops of these with our cheese and pepperoni and let them go a few more minutes. Might not really work in my favor. That's today's word. Favor. Probably should just take the pan out. So don't do what I'm doing, okay? Oh, I'm not going to be able to get all the pepperoni spread out over this, okay? We are not okay at the moment. This oven, you know I love it, and it heats like a beast. Okay, hold on here, hold on. There we go. Just sit there and like it, tater tots, and I will try to be quick with my pepperonis. I know several of you made some fun jokes and comments about my pepperoni dealing skills in the pizza video as well. And someone joked that I could be a blackjack dealer with my pepperoni skills. So I did not lay those tater tots out in a perfect circle. But see, we can't even see them now. But I will take 2 minutes here and do some pretty okay circles on top. And we have 2 half bags of pepperonis left. You know we are going to stock up next time we find pepperonis at Sharp Shopper. But we have plenty of pepperonis to do this. If I had less pepperonis, if you had less pepperonis, sorry, a crowd is gathering beyond the camera to watch Mom dish out all these pepperonis. This is looking good? Mm-hmm. You excited? That's good. So we are here. We are almost done. And it is looking mighty pretty. I think I might become known for my pepperonis and my thumbnails. Nice. Now we're just going to put it back in for a few minutes. maybe not so much dangerous juggling now. Okay. Well, happy day, friends. We really got a lot of big batch cooking done across 2 afternoons. We prepped ahead several big batch meals for my large family household of 10. And if you follow my exact big batch recipes in this video from over on my brand new big batch freezer meals and meal prep vault that you can find at largefamilytable.com/vault, you can make many big batch dinners for your family too. Now, if you are a large family, hey, here's something nice. You'll actually make enough for dinner that night, and you could have a few servings left over for the following day. That's always my hopes and dreams. And if you have a smaller size family, and let's say you follow the Philly cheesesteak macaroni recipe, you would have enough for dinner for your family that night, and potentially the following night, and even, oh boy, some lunchtime leftovers. Additionally, you could have half of the Philly cheesesteak macaroni for dinner one night, and you could freeze the next one, very similar to my one for now, one for later freezer meal method. And then you have your next dinner done in the freezer ready to go. So we did 4 big batch dinner recipes. We actually got a total of 5 because whenever we did the low carb pepperoni pizza casserole, we made 2 9x13s. Then we made 1 large cast iron 17-inch deep dish pan of Philly cheesesteak macaroni that we adapted to also make gluten-free. We made 1 mammoth 17-inch large deep dish cast iron pan of the Italian sausage lasagna skillet, and we just adapted that, again, using what I have on hand, which I encourage you to do too. We just make the best of it no matter what we have. We did a sausage lasagna skillet. And then another winner big batch dinner around here, we prepped ahead skillet tater tot pizza casserole for my family. Now, some of the items from the recipe, such as fresh mushrooms and some more green pepper, and even a garnish of black olives on top, I left those out because I did not have those available. Just like regular homemade pizza, with this skillet tater tot pizza casserole, you can use what toppings you have on hand. Plus, we went through the leftover cheese I had from my last homemade big batch pizza project, and we went through the last of the pepperonis. So I'm really happy with items I already had, how many of those got used up in this big batch dinner meal prep. And for my family, this gave us dinner and lunch options for several nights. If you're inspired to do more big batch freezer meals and big batch meal prep for your any size family, again, head to largefamilytable.com/vault. Use the special limited time coupon code JAMFAM to take an extra $50 off. And join my humongous vault with over 100 resources for your kitchen to help you prep meals in advance, stock your freezer, save money on groceries, meal plan based on what you have on hand, learn how to use pantry staples, enjoy my full filling your freezer course, and so very much more. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you real soon with another brand new video. Bye-bye.